I'm Alyssa from Sweet Pea, and today I'm going to show you how to do applique in the hoop. If you thought this video tutorial was helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe. Applique is a sewing technique that we use a lot here at Sweet Pea, and it's where you stitch pieces of small fabric down onto a larger piece of fabric and it creates a picture or pattern. We then usually finish it with a satin stitch or some sort of decorative stitch. Sometimes you may even come across applique that is stitched down with a triple stitch and the edges are left raw. Applique in the hoop is very easy to do, and by following the steps on the machine and in our written instructions, you'll be able to achieve a beautiful applique with ease. To achieve beautiful applique, you of course need to have your embroidery machine, your hooped up stabilizer fabric, and then here I've got all of my pre-cut pieces of fabric for each applique. I've got all of my chosen threads that I'll be using. And then the tools that I need are my pink fang, which will help hold the applique fabric down while it's stitching, and then my applique scissors. And we like to use the double curved applique scissors. So I'm going to be sewing block 1 from our So Cute table runner. And to begin, I have to stitch down my placement line. And this is the placement line for the sewing machine. And this placement line acts as a guide to where you need to be placing your fabric. So now that I have my placement line stitched, I'm going to grab my pre-cut and pre-ironed fabric, and I'm going to be placing it directly over the top of this placement line. You need to make sure it covers it entirely. And now using my pink fang to help me, I'm going to start stitching. And the pink fang will help flatten the fabric as it stitches. I don't have to get my fingers anywhere near the needle. Okay, so we have stitched the sewing machine applique down. Just get rid of this piece. And now I'm going in with my double curved applique scissors. I'm going to get right under the fabric, and we're going to cut nice and close to our stitch down line. You don't want to get too close that the fabric's going to fall out, but about 1 to 2 millimeters away from your stitching line. And while I'm stitching, I'm kind of pulling my fabric away as I cut, and it just helps to get a nice clean cutting line. You want to make sure that your scissors are nice and sharp as well. So now that I'm at this corner, my hand is kind of getting in the way of the machine. So I'm going to just take the hoop out of the machine and just turn it slightly so I can get on that angle. Some people like to completely take their hoop out of the machine and place it flat on a desk, flat surface. You can definitely do that. I just like to keep it on my machine. You can take your time. Oh, see, I'm going to have to turn it around entirely. Going around the corner. And by using nice sharp scissors and pulling the fabric as well, you're not getting a lot of fraying along the edge of your applique, which helps when you come to do the satin stitch. And there we go. So now this is trimmed and it is ready for the next step. So you've just seen how easy it is to complete applique. Now I'm going to show you some common mistakes that people can make when it comes to doing applique. So one of the first mistakes that people can make are not ironing their pieces of fabric. So here I have a quite wrinkled piece of fabric and I'm going to place it on top of my placement line. So I'm going to stitch that now. Okay, so I'm going to be placing my piece of fabric that I haven't ironed on top of the placement line. And I'm not going to hold it down. That can be another mistake by not holding the fabric down and making it nice and smooth. You can then end up with quite a lot of puckering, as you can see. That's a really good pucker. As you can see, we're left with puckered fabric and that's not what we're after. We want a nice, flat, smooth finish. So when you're doing your applique, you want to make sure you use your pink thing, or, I mean, you can use your fingers or a chopstick and to hold the fabric down while it stitches, and you'll end up with a nice flat finish like that. Don't feel bad if you make these mistakes. We make them all the time here in the testing room. They can easily be fixed. So now I'm going to show you how to fix this issue of the puckering in the fabric. I've got my handy little unpicker tool that I use every day. So I'm going to begin by getting the unpicker under a stitch and cut it. So I've got my unpicker and I've already gone through and cut a couple of stitches here. So you can continue to do that along the top here. Another way is you could flip your unpicker with the ball on the inside and you could run it along and pulling the fabric taut as you go. So I have gone around and unpicked all of the stitching from my applique. I'm left with all the pieces of cut thread, so I'm just going to go around and pull them out just so they don't show through the finished applique. And now I'm going to go iron this piece of fabric and restitch it. So I'm back from ironing my piece of fabric and now I'm going to stitch it down the correct way. I have placed it evenly over the top of my placement line. I'm going to start stitching and I'm going to grab my pink thing and really make sure I am guiding the fabric so there are no puckers in the fabric. It is nice and flat. And that is much better than before. Nice and flat, no puckering. So now that I have stitched that down, I'm going to trim it with my scissors. And now I'm going to show you another mistake that can be made, and that is by cutting very close to the stitching line. And see how there is not much fabric on this side of the stitch down line, and the fabric can be easily pulled out just like that. So we don't want to be cutting that close. About 1 to 2 millimeters from the stitch down line. Just like that. Well, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you've learnt some helpful tips on applique in the hoop. And please make sure to check out our in the hoop machine embroidery designs on our website at swpea.com. If you found this video tutorial helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe.